The two junior high schoolmates had a childhood crush who ended up being their teacher. After finding their teachers are in separate relationships, those two schoolmates make a pact for fake relationships to fulfill their loneliness. Episode 1. As everyone leaves after school, a young junior high school girl named Hanabi Yasurioka, who thinks her teacher Narumi Kanai is her soulmate, feels his presence on this desk and remembers the beautiful days she spent with him. Suddenly, Narumi came to his desk. She started to blush and called him brother. He tells her to call him Mr. Kanai at school by using her nickname, Hana. Sashi tells him not to call her by her nickname. Since he knows her from when she was a child, it feels weird to act formal with her. She is happy to stay close with him. Her smile quickly faded when she heard a woman's voice calling Mr. Kanai. Miss Akane Managawa, a music teacher, comes to return his notebook. Narumi blushed and quickly ran to her. Seeing Narumi blush harder when he stayed close to Akane, her eyes turned cold. She walks out of the classroom and bumps into a guy named Mugi Aweya, who has a crush on Miss Akane. They were both standing in the hall and feeling pitiful after hearing their crushes chit-chat. As Mugi grabbed her hand, Hanabi's feelings drifted away, and she wondered about the beautiful feelings of hopeless love, painful love, and unrequired love. Mugi takes Hanabi to the back of their school. He grabs her face, holds her hands, and comes close to her face. They passionately kiss and hug each other. The two of them are dating, and their relationships are very popular among the students. Most of them believe they were meant for each other. However, deep underneath their relationship, there is a darkness of suffering that is hidden from everyone. Mugi and Hanabi are just each other's replacements. When they hold each other, Hanabi imagines Mugi as her brother Narumi, and Mugi imagines Hanabi as Miss Akane. On Hanabi's first day as a high school junior, she was surprised to see her neighbor's brother, her first love, as her teacher. First, she felt so happy, knowing she could see his face every day. One day, Hanabi runs to the faculty room with excitement to bring some papers to Narumi. As she opened the door, she was shocked to see Narumi and Akane standing close to each other. Her smile faded when she saw that Narumi was very excited to stay close with Akane. Akane noticed Hanabi and reminded Narumi. He thanked Hanabi for bringing it. Hanabi leaves and starts worrying. She has known Narumi for a long time, and the look on his face was one he had never had before. That night, Narumi visited Hanabi's home. She sat next to him and ate the ramen that her mother had made. Narumi tells Hanabi how good a cook her mother is, so her mother tells Narumi that Hanabi also helped to make this. Hanabi got embarrassed and asked her mom to stop. Narumi thanked her mother for the awful dinner. Her mom says she is happy to have him for dinner and mentions that they're neighbors after all. As Narumi leaves for his home, Hanabi walks for company. He mentioned how he liked her mother's homemade cooking because he only had his father and neither of them knew how to cook. When he speaks about this, he always mentions that he wants to have a wonderful wife soon. Hanabi noticed he'd been saying this often and thought he had someone already in mind. And there is a significant time jump to Hanabi's primary school days, where she won the first prize in the 3-leg race with Narumi. Unfortunately, her victory was interrupted by another kid, who claims Hanabi is a cheater for running with a young man instead of her parents. Hanabi got frustrated and ran away. Narumi followed her to the back of the building, and she told him that running with him wasn't unfair. He realized Hanabi was upset, so he cheered her up, saying her mother worked hard to prepare food for her lunch, so it was not unfair to eat it too. As usual, Narumi is grateful for the homemade cooking, but Hanabi says the food tastes average. Narumi says that someday she will feel gratitude for having a mother. At the same time, she tells him she is jealous of him having a father. They both understand their situations, and Narumi promised they could help each other when they felt lonely. Back in time, Hanabi reminds him of his words and calls him as a liar. One day Hanabi bumps into Miss Akane. Akane apologizes politely, but Hanabi looks annoyed by her perfume and old school makeup. Mugi appears and hands her music notes. Akane thanked him by calling him by his nickname. He reminds her that they are in school, so she quickly apologizes to him. Hanabi finds his eyes look exactly like hers, while she is looking at his brother Narumi. That's how Hanabi meets Mugi for the first time. They stick together and watch their crushes leave home. They shared their feelings towards their teachers with each other. It's been a month, and the more they fall for their crushes, the more they become lonely. On one rainy day, they both hung out in Mugi's bedroom. Mugi is playing video games, and Hanabi hugged him from the back. First Mugi got scared, then he realized she hugged him as a replacement for Narumi. He takes her to the bed. He lays on top and pretends to be her brother. He kisses her neck and cheeks, but they have no feelings for each other. He came too close to kiss her lips. Hanabi said he doesn't look like his brother Narumi, and do they really wanted due to this? Mugi tells him she is the one who wanted to, so he asks her to close her eyes and imagine Mugi as Narumi. When he touched her forehead, she had strange feelings. Her pulses rose, she blustered to a peak, and he kissed her forehead and her lips. She mentioned that it was her first kiss and that it felt so good. She asked one more time. Her loneliness is fading away. She didn't feel regret for this. All she cares about now is that she wants to be a good replacement for Mugi, just like he was. They went too far and started to mess around. She cried because her brother will never do this to her, but she wants to stay quiet for Mugi to pretend like Akane. When she opened her eyes with tears, Mugi stopped pretending like Narumi. However, deep inside, they both really liked to have these feelings, even though they were just replacements for their crushes. At that moment, she received a text message from Narumi, thanking her for last night's dinner at home. By seeing the sad look on Hanabi's face, Mugi told her, "Let's stop this for today," and he also mentioned that if she wanted to have this further, we would. Without answering his question, time jumps back to the present month of July. Hanabi is rejecting a proposal from his schoolmate. He grabs her hand and tells her he waited for a positive answer. Hanabi replied, "There is nothing more revolting than the complicated affection of someone who is completely disinterested in you." She walks away and reminds herself of the affection she has for Narumi, and she loses her balance. Then grabbing onto the rooftop fence, she is baffling about the relationship she had with Mugi as her brother Narumi. She couldn't answer his question that day. At the same time, she can't let go of the Narumi she sees through Mugi. Suddenly, wind blows through her hair, and she sees Mugi standing in the doorway. After seeing Mugi, she realized she didn't want to stop this relationship with him. Hanabi came back to Mugi's home with a cold look in her eyes. He was surprised to see Hanabi. He grabs her face and says that if she really wants it, then they can say they are dating. So they're able to depend on each other for their needs. Hanabi suspects that Mugi will fall in love with her and force his feelings on her. But Mugi assured her that he would never do that, saying she was completely not his type. Hanabi smiled and said he was not her type either. So they make a pinky promise that neither of them will ever fall in love, and if one of them makes a relationship with the person they really love, their relationship ends. They can have everything from each other except their feelings. As the days go by, they spend more time together. One day on the rooftop, Hanabi asks Mugi about their relationship as friends with benefits. Mugi quickly denies it and says this is not a friendship with benefits, and they will never do that. Their relationship is not that bad. If someone feels lonely, there is nothing wrong with wanting someone to hold them right. They believed one day might come and their scum wish would come true.